Hey everyone, welcome to our first live episode of Jedi Academy. I
Yes,
am Ben Kenobi and with me is my partner in crime, Jedi Master Took. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you today?
Doing well, doing well.
That's good. It's always
My
good.
name is transparency. We had some technical issues, but I think we
Yes.
got everything settled out right now, right? Everything is good?
Everything is good on my end, looks like. Yep.
Yeah, alright. So, if this is the first time watching, we talk about movie news. I don't think there's really anything to talk about in the news, right?
No, I don't. I just I feel like until celebration, we're not getting anything. That's just kind of how
Right.
it feels right now. We'll probably get another Obi-Wan trailer. I think we will get one more trailer because the
Yeah.
first one was just a teaser, so they're going to give us at least one more trailer. I would think.
Speaking of trailers, I know that it's Star Wars related,
Okay.
but did you watch the Stranger Things trailer today?
I didn't get to see it yet. No, I haven't yet. I do want to watch it though. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing. I'm not going to say anything. It's
Okay.
amazing, and I can't wait.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Fun
I
fact,
haven't got to see it yet, but yeah, I definitely want to check it out.
fun fact: Stranger Things and Obi-Wan drop on the same day.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a
So
good two for one day then.
yeah, I can't wait. Um,
Definitely, definitely.
yeah, so since there's no news, I guess we're going to talk about one of the best third movies in the franchise,
Yep.
Return of the Jedi. Came
And we
out
can talk about
last
Captain
night.
Rex because everybody forgets that Captain Rex is in this episode, is in this movie. At least it's been confirmed by Lucas that it's in.
Where's he though? Where's he? I mean, when they were
Not
making this
originally,
movie,
obviously,
no,
no, but
when they were making this movie, did they at any point think that was Captain Rex?
no, 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 no. It's been since that they've just said it because in I guess is it Clone no Rebels, he
Yeah.
has the white beard and he's bald. And at the end of this movie, the one guy has the white beard and he's bald, so they say that's Rex.
You
So
know, it kind of like in, I think it was Iron Man 2, when
yeah,
that kid at the expo goes up to Tony Stark, right?
yeah.
That kid, I believe, is Peter Parker.
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
You know who I mean?
Yes. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah. I think they confirmed that a few years ago. That,
okay. Yeah, yeah. Hey,
yeah, whatever, right? But
yeah. See, that for me, I like only because it doesn't change anything in canon. It really doesn't change it. If it is, it is. If it isn't, so what?
right.
It's just a fun little thing.
And I always say there's quite a bit additions in this movie. I
Well,
think there's
I guess the only thing would be the time frame because that's about what 25 years after after episode 3, right? About 23,
yeah,
25
yeah,
years.
it
So,
would, it would.
how fast do clones age? I don't know the exact number. Is it 2 times, 3 times a normal human? I don't know. I would assume it's a lot faster because they go from being basically children to ready in what, like a year? Isn't that what they said the entire?
Something like that. It's
Yeah.
fast. They do it fast.
So you figure
Yeah,
18 years for every year, let's say, or 16 years for every year. That's that's pretty quick.
yeah, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, exactly. No, exactly. Again, yeah, exactly. Who knows?
so, what are your feelings about Return of the Jedi?
Overall, I love this movie. I love the clothes that it brings. I love the finale that we get of the story with with Luke and Darth with Luke and Vader, and even Palpatine. At that point, that is the end. I mean that's the last. That's it for Palpatine. Um, I do like that the way they play with Luke and Leia being sister and brother, or him telling her finally saying "Ask me later" or "Ask me again," and Han doing the normal Han thing. getting jealous and storming off. The
Han
Ewoks are awesome. I
is
mean,
awesome. Han is always awesome.
he is. But the Ewoks are awesome, man. I mean, they come in and they fight, man. They fight for their little planet.
Oh, they didn't only fight, they're murderers,
Yeah,
man. They will kill you, they will burn you, they will eat you, they will decapitate you, and then they will bang you on the head. I
yep.
mean,
And they
they're
were going to eat them originally. That's something that we kind of always skip over as fans, but they were going to eat them. They had them tied up and ready to be barbecued.
oh yeah, they were going to barbecue those suckers. Are you kidding?
So I said, they're little
It would
savage
be a
beasts,
wrap.
man. Yeah, exactly. But they're little savage beasts. Telling you, you don't want to cross an Ewok, man.
No. If you meet an Ewok, you want to be friends with that Ewok right away.
Yep. So everybody's, oh, they're just cute and cuddly. They are to an extent, but cross them the wrong way, man. Try to take their planet from them.
So the movie opens, and everyone goes to, I almost said Jakku. Everybody goes to Tatooine
Yeah,
to get Han back.
yeah.
What did you think about all the Jabba's palace? What did you think about the rescue? What are your feelings towards that?
I love this scene. I love this whole opening sequence of the really one third of the movie. I mean, it's pretty much the whole opening of the movie until we get to the barge and all that stuff. That's when the story starts to kind of kick forward. But that whole scene, I love it because I just remember being a kid and seeing this, and it's just so memorable. With the Rancor and Jabba and all that. I mean, everything. Boba Fett walking around in the background. I mean, I don't have the updated version memorized as much, but the original of just Boba Fett just kind of giving the one little tip of the hat, and that's it, and that's all we really see of him, and him talking to the women, and just he's not as open as he is in the remastered cuts, because I think they added a scene or two with him, right, in the Lucas cut where you see him a couple different times instead of just
Yeah,
one.
maybe.
I think
What,
so.
what do you think about the main musical number in
It makes me laugh. It still makes me laugh. I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. I
I know
mean,
everyone, I know it, like everyone can father craps on it, but I like it.
I don't mind.
It's
It
fun.
goes on a little too long. I think it goes on a little too long. But again, it's not enough where I'm like, all right, I hate this. It's just like, okay, whatever. It happened. You know. But that scene around it, it's still so good. It really is because I mean, you get and actually, I have to correct myself because that is Luke does use force choke on a living being when he chokes the what are they called the shoot
Yeah.
Bulgarian guard. What are they called again? But when he chokes them out,
Is that what?
Gamorrean. I'm sorry. Yes, yes. So when he chokes them out, he does do that there. So I actually have to correct myself on that because I said the other week that he only used it on droids and things. But you see a darker Luke, which we don't expect at that point. He's in all
Right.
black, and I mean, you're like, wait a minute, kind of what's going on here. He uses the Obi-Wan, take me to your leader kind of thing, and they take him right to Jabba, and you have Leia there. Leia's kind of undercover as
Uh,
a as the
you don't notice but she's there.
right,
You
right,
know,
right.
she's wearing a helmet and mask at that point.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yes, yes. That's not till later. You're right. I apologize. No, you're right. No, but you see Luke. Not he is Luke at that point, in my opinion. He's
Yeah.
not. He's not end of this movie, Luke, when he finally fights Vader for the last time. But you see the confidence in him that he knows. He's like, I know I can do. What I can do. I know. I'm not
Man,
scared standing here by myself in front of Jabba the Hutt and all his people. Like I'm not scared at all. I'm ready to go if it needs to go down. So
do you know, I don't know, maybe you knew. How long is it between the end of Empire and the beginning of Return of the Jedi?
it's not long because I think from New Hope to the end of Jedi, it's only 3 or 5 years. It's 3 to 5 years, I believe, total.
Okay, okay.
So I think it's only maybe a year, maybe a few months, whatever, 6 to 8 months, maybe. I'm not 100% sure though. I have to look it up again. I know I've seen it somewhere. I just have to look it up.
So maybe you quit your Jedi summer school and got an accelerated lesson plan.
I don't know.
But
The
yeah,
reason it
you're
only
right.
not that long after is because he hasn't gone back to Dagobah yet.
Well, okay, this always puzzled me. Are we sure he hasn't gone back yet? Or has he gone back a couple of times? We
Well,
don't
and
know.
right.
We
We
don't
don't know
know.
for sure. No, you're right. We don't know for sure. But at least, that's how Yoda makes it seem like he hasn't been back yet. That was his first time back. So I don't know. I don't know though. I mean, you could absolutely make the argument he's been there a few times. I mean, you can
Right, I
because
mean,
he has moved forward with his training in some way, shape, or form from
right,
the end of
know.
Empire.
And to me, all that progress, that looks like more than 3 days in Empire. You know
Sure.
what I mean? And
Oh,
that
yeah.
looks like he's been training a
Oh,
while.
yeah. Like I said, there's definitely an argument for that. So I wouldn't disagree with that at all. So I said I would just have to look at exactly how long it was, but you would think it wouldn't be that long because the beginning is them bringing Han there, and I mean it's not like it takes years or months to get across the galaxy. I mean they can do it pretty quickly within you know I would assume a few days or weeks to get across the whole galaxy, which I can't imagine they had to do that. So
Right.
it would be maybe a day or so that he took by the time he got Han to Tatooine. So I guess the real question is just how long did it take them to put the plan in place and execute it? That's
Well, yeah, I might be mistaken, but I thought Han was there already at the start of the movie.
what's that?
I thought Han was already there. We saw him come. I thought Han Solo was already brought
Well, he
to.
reveals him as being already there, right. He reveals him because he's under the tarp hanging up, and he kind of just reveals him. I just kind
Okay.
of always assumed that was him like dropping him off and kind of hanging him up and him revealing them for the first. That's just kind of how I
Okay.
always, and it could have
Yeah,
been days before. He could have been there for days. He could have been there for a week. We don't, whatever.
right.
So
That's
who knows?
the, that's the one thing Star Wars 95% of the time doesn't look clear.
Yeah,
The time difference between episodes.
yeah, yeah,
The,
absolutely.
o- I think the only time when it's clear on exactly how long it's been is actually between 7 and 8.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
7 ends and 8 picks up right then,
yeah, right.
obviously, because
Yeah.
we'll get into
Because I
that.
think it's 2 years between 4 and 5, right? Between New Hope and Empire, it's 2 years, right? About 2 years between those two.
Alright,
I
well,
think that's what it is.
yeah,
I'm not sure because I know they had to reestablish a base, and that's when they went to Hoth.
right.
So it would have took them, at least a year, year and a half, maybe. Let's say I would something like that.
Well, they go to Jabba's palace, they, they get caught,
Yep.
obviously, but, and then they get transported to the Snorlax pit.
Yep.
And then that's when the plan really goes into action.
Yes.
What are your feelings about this plan, and what are your feelings about the Snorlax pit?
My feelings are they did Boba Fett wrong. They did Boba Fett wrong. How can you do that to Boba Fett? You set up this cool character, man, that is just doesn't take crap from anybody, is quiet, he can do what he can do, and then he just gets hit in the back with a and he's done. And it's so bad. But other than
No,
that, I do love the scene overall though. I do. I really do.
you even hear you say that Boba Fett was the coolest in Empire Strikes Back, and
Uh-huh.
and as of now, has not reached back up to that height of
Yeah.
coolness. Is that fair to say?
Because here's the thing too. There's a little part right in there where Chewie says Boba, or obviously you don't hear him say, it, but he says Boba Fett, and then Han, in almost a scared voice, says Boba Fett where?
Yes,
You know,
right.
like he's scared. He's not scared, but he's like, oh wait a minute, okay, this is a real threat. This isn't just a stormtrooper or a Gamorrean guard I can just kick my way through. Like this is a
Right.
real threat. He knows that's a real threat. So it's just weird that he just kind of is. I just would have rather seen a better fight from him. That's all. And again, that's little things going back as a kid, just loving that character and watching it as I get older and seeing the flaws in it. But as a kid, I was like, oh, I mean, even though he died, I was like, that's so awesome. I mean,
Well, well, maybe they will give him maybe they will give him his own show someday. Oh wait, they did. Look how that turned out, right?
because I'll tell you what I honestly thought up until I would say probably even up to before Disney bought Star Wars was that when I mean, I've heard the stories that he survived, but I always thought when he rammed his head into the side, I mean, he hits his jetpack and his jetpack goes full throttle into the side of the ship. And I just
Right.
assumed he broke his neck when he hit the ship because I mean he hits the ship pretty hard. I just figured that was actually what killed him, and he just rolled into the sun. But so I don't know, but I just I'm again, I'm like I said, I'm glad they brought him back, but I just always assumed that was it for him. He was dead at that point.
So they meet Boba Fett, they meet Jabba
Yeah,
on, and everyone go
and
back to
Leia
the.
gets to kill Jabba, which is awesome. That is understated. That is very understated.
Great.
Yes.
We would be remiss not to mention the fact Leia's costume has become one of the most iconic sci-fi costumes
Yeah.
in sci-fi history,
Yeah.
right?
Now, would you say that because this is, if am I mistaken? This is before Alien, right? Or is this after?
I think they came out right after Alien.
Damn, I was
No,
going to say
wait,
because
what year was Alien?
that's the thing I don't know. I know this would have been 82. I think this came out, it came out
This is 93.
83. Okay.
Yeah,
83. Yeah, yeah, okay.
let me look up Alien.
Yeah. I'm just
Well,
wondering because, look, nothing against Sigourney Weaver. She's awesome. I love Alien and Aliens, but is Leia the original badass, like, woman in a movie? Like, she might have been one of the originals.
Alien came out in 1979.
Okay, so it was before. Okay, okay, okay.
So Alien was, well, one could argue
A New Hope
Leia.
though was 77. So, and I just don't think I don't think Leia gets as much credit for.
No,
And she's a very brave, female character.
in my opinion, there's
Yeah.
a trifecta of badass women in
Okay.
sci-fi. You have Leia, you
Yeah.
have Ripley, and you
Mhm.
have Sarah Connor.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I would agree. I would agree with
That
that.
is a
100%.
trifecta. I think all fans of this now could agree on that trifecta.
Yep.
I
I've always thought she's underrated as a female, character. I just think doesn't get the respect she deserves because she stands up to Vader in A New Hope in the very beginning. She stares him right in the face and says, No, I don't care what you do. I mean,
for me, for me, I would put Leia, Ripley as one or two, and then
okay.
Sarah Connor as third. I don't know about you, but that's how I would do them.
I mean, I think those three are just kind of in a tier of their own. I mean, I think they're one A, B, and C. I mean, you really can't put one over the other. I mean, Sarah Connor is a badass, and so is Ripley. I mean, Ripley doesn't back down either. I mean, it's tough.
And
But
talking about,
I think it's not just the fact that they're just like killing everything and coming out in the end because like Leia isn't that type of person. I just think she's very brave and she's very not cocky but confident in herself. She's
I
not.
agree, 100%, I agree.
Yeah.
And
because she's not killing everybody and doing all the stuff that Ripley or Sarah Connor does. She's not doing that kind of stuff. But like I said, I just feel like she's in that class because she's just not scared of anybody. Even in the the prequel or the sequel trilogy, she's very stoic in those movies. I love the way Carrie Fisher played Leia in those movies. I really do. She's very sure of herself, and she's been there.
She she goes on the screen and without saying anything, she demands respect.
When she smacks Poe, it's you don't feel like she's being mean or she's being. She just that's the reaction he needed. That's what
Right.
he needed, and she knew it. And as his commanding officer, she knew she could do that and get away with it with him.
Right.
I love those moments with her. I really do because I really think that she played it very well. Carrie Fisher did in
Right.
the sequel trilogy. I love her in the sequel trilogy. But
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
how, yeah, bringing back to Return of the
Yeah,
Jedi, and I agree with you with everything.
yeah,
On the bringing back to Return of the Jedi, they meet everyone on Tatooine.
yeah,
Han and crew go to the rebel base.
yep,
Luke goes back to Dagobah.
yep. Now,
What
yep,
time this is, we don't know, but he goes back to the Dagobah. He has a close one-on-one talk with Yoda,
yeah,
and Yoda is preparing to die.
yeah,
Forgive my
yeah,
quickness, but as Yoda's dying, he says, Vader is his father.
yeah, yeah.
Yoda
I have
dies,
to admit it. Yeah,
Yoda dies, and Luke goes out into outside. Obi-Wan comes.
yeah,
They sit down. They have a nice chat.
yeah, yeah. Love that scene. Love that little scene.
Now, how Obi-Wan is able to sit on a log, we don't know.
Hey,
We don't know, but
he was sitting on a log in his time and space, but it just happened to be in the same area where Luke was sitting on that log. That's what I like to think.
fine, I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. Um,
Maybe
then
it's like the dark dimension where it's just the opposite. It's everything looks the same. It's just the opposite of every.
the
So
upside down is the upside down.
right
And
there
the
you go.
upside down is
See,
Star
that's it.
Wars.
Right. You just don't know. You don't know.
The upside down is here. That would be a fun crossover. The
Right.
Star Wars and Stranger Things. That
I
would be
just
a
want to
fun.
see I want to see that world. I want to see the other side of that where they're all upside down, walking around upside down or something. That would be great. No, one thing I do have to say about this scene, and I think about this whole part of the movie is just Frank Oz is a master at Yoda. He mastered Yoda. The way he
Right.
could use his, to manipulate him and get the emotions he wanted to get out of him. I mean, you really do for some parts of that forget it's a puppet and just think you get lost in it because you're like, what's happening right now? You get lost in the story and it's very well done. I just think he deserves the credit that he gets for that movie, man, because or just playing Yoda in general as the puppeteer.
Of course, I mean,
He's so great.
yeah, I mean, you're
Because without that working, those even Lucas has said if that doesn't work, if Yoda doesn't work in Episode 5, the franchise is done. It's over. So that could have been the funniest. That could have been another Jar Jar. I mean,
oh, well, I'm going to say something about JoJo at the end of
okay.
this. Uh, Ay, ay, ay.
I do feel bad now saying things about Jar Jar. I honestly only do because I've heard the story of the guy that played him and all the stuff he got from
Oh,
fans. It's
and
sad. Sad
and
story.
I want to be clear. Everything I say about JoJo, I am not saying about the actor.
Sure. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
I own the character.
Oh, without being said, for sure. Yeah, no, I
I
understand.
mean, we may crap on the character, we might talk shit about the character, but it's not character.
Yes, correct.
We, I have mad respect for the actor,
Absolutely.
and I'm sure you do too. It
Oh, of
is.
course. Yeah, no, he did what he was told to do. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He played the character exactly the way he was told to play it. So you can't be mad
He,
at him for anything.
he was Andy Circus before Andy Circus.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
but, yeah, okay.
No, I
So,
I, I was just joking because I just whenever I do say something, I feel bad because I don't want I just hate for him to what he had to go through, and I don't want to ever add to that kind of stuff.
I,
You know.
I feel bad for him, and I feel super terrible for, Jake Lloyd.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. He got a lot of
That's
yeah.
another one who,
And see, and I don't remember feeling that way about it. Like I remember not liking Jar Jar a lot. I mean, I did not like Jar Jar at all when I first saw the movies. But I never thought I hate the guy that played it. I just that never really crossed my mind. It was just I didn't like the character itself. You know.
I remember seeing the movie,
Yeah.
and on him, young Anakin in Phantom Menace, he's annoying to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that character,
Yep.
making him that young, I think, personally, I think that was a little bit of a mistake. I would have aged him up a little bit
Yeah.
in
Well,
Phantom
I would have
Menace.
liked to see because I actually was just watching something the other day where I saw that there's a deleted scene where or it was a planned scene where a kid was going to call him a slave and he beat him up and Obi-Wan was going to stop him from beating up the kid. And it was just going to kind of show you that even at that age he still had that anger that inside him, like that just that rage inside him even at that age, which I think would have went a long way. I think that would have went a long way.
I would have been interested to see. Where did you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah,
And
it
I
was
know,
on. It was one of the. I think it was Star Wars Explained.
okay.
It was on his one of his videos, I believe. But it was from the comic books, and it was about how Obi Wan then later did the same thing with somebody else, and
Oh,
Anakin was like, I don't understand, and he was like, it's a different situation, Anakin. You know.
so it wasn't shot. It wasn't a deleted scene or anything. It was animated, huh?
Yes. Well,
Uh,
it was from the comic books. But
okay.
the scene was never shot, but it was planned to be a scene in the
Uh,
movie. They just never actually shot it. So,
can't even blame that on Disney because Disney wasn't around back then. So,
right. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. We'll never see that, unfortunately. But
yeah.
yeah, it was, like I said, it just, I think it would have added to the anger and just who Anakin was overall. Because really, the only time we see him snap after that is the episode 2 when he goes after his mom and kills all the
Right.
people. So, you know,
So, okay.
yep,
Um, Luke is talking to Obi-Wan.
yep,
Obi-Wan says there's a sister.
yes, right.
And I guess with all the female characters we met in Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, Luke really had to take some time to figure out who Obi-Wan was talking about before he got to there, right? I mean, there were only so many choices, right?
I mean, you had to assume it. Yeah, it was Leia, of course. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't remember if I picked that up as a kid or not when I was watching it, but I mean, when they were like, "It's Leia," when he's talking to Leia and he's like, "You're my sister," it made sense. I think
Yeah.
it made sense. Yeah,
I
because I don't know
mean,
who else it would have been. I mean, what other real character is there? I mean, I can't really think of another. Not in that trilogy. That's a female. That's huge. That's a big character. So yeah, it's the only one.
that's the
I think
only
that was
one.
actually that was a meme for a while, right? Wasn't it that Leia was the only female in all of
Yeah.
Star Wars or something?
I mean, you have grandma, you have, Mon Mothma,
Yeah.
is that
Okay. Yeah.
you have her.
Yes, you do have her right, but you would. She's too old. Wouldn't you think
She's
to
too
be his
old.
sister at that point? I mean, that wouldn't even kind of make sense to
Yeah,
me.
they're the only one at that
Right.
point.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and he says that she's your twin, right? Doesn't Obi-Wan say that she's your
Yeah.
twin?
Okay, and then earlier, oh no, that's later. We'll get there. So Luke gets confirmation he has a sister. He goes to meet everyone else on the rebel base.
Yep.
Then come up with this plan to destroy the nuke at the start. And they go to the moon of Endor now.
Right.
They get separated. Leia gets found by the Ewoks.
Wicket. Wicket. Yep.
Wicket, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, no, no. It's okay.
Um, Luke and Owen get trapped by the other Ewoks.
Yes. Right.
Right? And they were about to cook them,
Yeah.
Han and Luke.
But here's what I don't understand about that one little part is so she's nice to him. She gives him food. She takes her helmet off, and she shows him that she's not a threat, and she helps him survive that little skirmish right there with the stormtroopers. So why doesn't she get to survive when they all get caught? Or no, she was. That's right, because she came back separate from them.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Okay, no, yeah. Oh
yeah,
my, I got mixed up for a minute. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Okay.
yeah. They
She
were
comes back with
separated.
get separate. You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
so she is safe. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Wow. I completely forgot about that. Wow.
Lincoln, ridiculous.
She's the one that says, "Wait, they're my friends." Don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, never mind. I got it.
One new combo of Leia and 3PO,
Yes.
who they had 3PO as a god for some reason.
Which is one of the coolest things ever. I mean, that's one of the coolest. I love him floating across I mean, that's one of the coolest scenes ever.
Is it fair to say that the Ewoks are the only people who treated 3PO with any kind of respect?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Wow, never humans ever treated him with respect.
Yep.
No one. I'm sorry, not even.
And I mean, they sit around and they are enthralled with him when he's telling the story, and he's doing all the sound effects and all that. I mean, they are like, oh, I mean, they're into it. They love it. He's never had that kind of attention before.
It is. So, and then Luke and the everyone gets free. Everyone is happy.
Yep.
Luke and they have a private control. Luke reveals Vader is his father.
Yep.
He asked you, tell me, Leia, what do you remember about your mother?
Yeah.
And she said, I remember her being very beautiful.
But when? I knew you were going to say it. Yeah. I knew you were going to say it. When?
When?
Yeah.
This is my guess. She was talking about Bill Gunner's wife.
I think so. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah.
We somehow died when they were a toddler. I'll say a toddler. Maybe anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
But if she's talking about Padme,
I don't know how. I don't know how.
Maybe they have force memory. Maybe force. I don't know.
It's weird. It's a weird thing, but again, that's coming up to the part where right now where we're about to get to with Luke and Vader having that conversation before they go up in the elevator to Palpatine. There's in this conversation, I think is what sparks the Obi-Wan series completely from happening.
Right, because in this convo, Vader says, Obi-Wan once felt like you.
Right. Yep.
Okay, forgive me. The last time we saw, the last time in canon, we saw Obi-Wan and Anakin together.
Yeah.
Anakin was a fucking marshmallow, grinning
Yeah.
mama, and Obi-Wan is running away from him, leaving him to die. So when did Obi-Wan think there's still good in him.
And Obi-Wan planned on killing him. He went there to kill him. That was his whole entire plan. And he thought he left him there to left him there burning to death. He never thought he survived.
No,
In my opinion, I don't.
no, I agree with you.
Yeah,
So that tells me, that does mean they have to meet again in the show we're getting.
sure.
And I'm telling you, man, I can't wait for this Obi-Wan
It's
show.
good. It's either going to be the greatest thing we've ever seen in Star Wars, or it's going to fall on its face, or if it's somewhere in between, even that might be good enough. I mean, this could be
Yeah,
some of the best Star Wars we've ever got. It really could.
I feel bad. I feel bad for this show. Because going into this show has, has the most pressure any show or any movie
And the high
since Return of
expectations.
the
Yeah,
Jedi
yeah.
has on. This show has to nail it out of the park.
Well, do you think it's more than Force Awakens when that came out? Because the new trilogy was, I mean, that was the first one of the new trilogy. They had to get that one right, and I think they did overall. I love Force Awakens,
I
but
would say that because, how do I put it? Before Mandalorian came out,
yeah.
before Mandalorian came out, I think after Last Jedi,
Excuse me, sorry.
I think right then after Last Jedi, I think that was the worst condition the Star Wars fan base has ever been in. And yes, I'm even talking after the prequels.
Okay.
Right after the prequels, you can say, yeah, some people hated them, some people loved them.
Yeah.
But after episode 8, with
Well, that was
social
by far the
media,
worst time. Yeah, I agree with you.
and, and, and then after Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah, it got worse. It got
it
worse
got
because if you remember, right before Episode 9 came out, it started to die down again. It really did. It kind of started to go away.
right.
When the trailer started coming out for Episode 9 and the hype for Episode 9 kind of started to come in, it didn't kill it, but it started to go away a little bit because I think people were like, okay, well, let's see what happens in 9. But then when 9 fell on its face, everybody just said, no, this is, I think that was the tipping point really for it because that's when it went into overdrive. It hasn't really stopped since.
Well, I wouldn't fight back. I wouldn't say Mandalorian came back. Everybody loved Mandalorian.
Yes, 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 yes.
And
That's
that,
true.
the end of the very first episode of Mandalorian,
Yeah,
when we got that baby Yoda, you
yeah.
feel. You couldn't feel the force in all real world. You couldn't feel it multiply. You couldn't feel
Oh
the
yeah,
love
yeah.
that was coming out.
Dude, when that ET moment happens and he puts his finger out and touches Baby Yoda, I mean, yeah, that's
And,
yeah,
and then, and then season 2 came.
yeah,
And that ending, even more so brought people back.
yeah.
When that Luke
I would
cameo.
agree with that. Yeah, I would agree. I think you're right. Yeah, I think that kind of killed. But I still feel like there is a lot of people out there that just still want to. They want to bring up 8 and 9, and it's like we're past that now, though. Like I get it, but it's kind of like the prequels. It's like still hating on the prequels. It's like yeah, we get it, but we're past that now. Like let's move forward. It's over.
Yeah.
It is what it is. There's no reason to continue to bash it. Just have fun with it, and just it is what it is. Just enjoy it for what it is. That's kind of where I'm at least with all of
And the book of Boba Fett happened.
it. Yeah,
That, and it didn't do a lot, but that did damage
yeah,
a
it did.
little bit.
Well,
I can agree. There was some hurt feelings with that.
yeah,
And now, the fan base is okay. It's better than it was after 8 and 9, but it's still
Yeah.
not perfect. And it still hasn't gotten to where it was after Return of the Jedi, in my opinion. If Obi-Wan the show comes out and it's A plus plus plus, there's an out of the box, beautiful, I think the fan base will be where it was at the end of Return of the Jedi. I think it will be back all the way.
Yeah.
If it falls flat, if it falls on its face, it won't be as bad as 8 and 9, but it will get a hit. It will take a hit.
Now, do
I
you
mean,
think that could cancel Andor, or just because Andor's already shot and pretty much ready to go, that they're going to go with it anyway? I mean, let's say for the sake of argument, Obi Wan is just the worst thing ever. It's worse than Boba Fett somehow. And
okay.
right, that's what I say. It's a hypothetical, but I'm just saying. Let's say it's worse than Boba Fett somehow. Do you think they would cancel Andor at that point, even though it's shot and pretty much ready to go? They just have to finish whatever production part they have to finish. CGI
No,
stuff.
no, but
Do you think the fan base would watch it?
no.
Yeah. And see, I agree with you. I think it would kill it. I think it would kill it.
And continuing on that trajectory,
Yeah.
Ahsoka, bye. I think that will
Oh,
go
it would be
away.
gone. I think they would cut that immediately. I
I
think the
think,
next day it's done.
I think one's another one.
Which
I
sucks
think,
because I think if you really look at the track record, let's say that Obi-Wan is bad. Let's say for whatever reason Obi-Wan is bad, right? If you look at the track record from what they've done recently, everything they've tried to do with the original set of characters, whether it's Boba Fett, whether it's the sequel trilogy, anything with the old characters that we know has fallen flat. And like I said, if Kenobi's bad too. But if everything they've done with newer characters has been good. I mean, it just has. I mean, Rogue One is a great movie.
I,
It is.
I will say this.
Mandalorian is a great show. It just is.
I
So I
will say
think that
this.
pushes them into new character territory, which is what I think they should be doing anyway. Mandalorian did it perfect. We went how many seasons or how many episodes without a main character coming in? When do we really see a main character come in? Ahsoka's the first one, right? Wouldn't you say? Ahsoka's the first one?
Mm, yeah. And
And even Luke at that point wasn't a known character.
I wouldn't even say Ahsoka.
It's Luke. It's Luke.
And what I wouldn't say she's a main character yet.
Right.
Yeah, God me.
But it's Luke. If you really want to point it down to somebody, it's Luke. Luke is the only original character that's from the original series, trilogy or whatever, that's in that movie. So, or that's in the show.
How about Boba Fett? Uh,
Okay, yes, sure. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Yep, Boba Fett. Yep, so Boba Fett is the
Boba
first one. Yeah, you're right. Yep, absolutely. But again, when do they show him? 2, 3 episodes before the last episode.
Fett.
So it doesn't happen until almost the end of season 2 where we see an original trilogy character come in, and that show didn't suffer for it. That show was awesome because that they didn't have all that, and then we got that Boba Fett reveal, and then we got that Luke reveal, and it feels more. I think that's what they should do going forward: is not give us as much of the original trilogy, but sprinkle it in when it needs to be. Sprinkle it in
So,
where it makes sense.
I agree with you. So as of now, if you had to guess, with very little knowledge as we have right now,
Yep.
what do you think the outcome of Obi-Wan will be? Do you think it will be really good, or do you think it will be...
From what we've seen so far, yeah, and just the buzz and what we've heard, I think it's going to be very good. I really do.
Okay.
I do. But let me do this. So we have the storyline in Mandalorian, right? And basically, where we end Mandalorian is if we don't get Baby Grogu back, let's say Baby Grogu goes with Luke. If we don't get Baby Grogu back, what we have is a power struggle for the dark saber and Mandalore. What if they did a go back in time? Let's say a couple, maybe 100 years, and they do a Game of Thrones Mandalorian show, and
I
they
would love
show
that.
us the fight for Mandalore, the dark saber, all that, the origins of the dark saber, and all of that stuff. And they show us how the different families fought for Mandalore and for the dark saber and to rule Mandalore, and we get to see all of that stuff. Those are the spin-offs I want to see. I want to see stuff that doesn't have anything to do with anything Luke Skywalker or Anakin or
I'm gonna say that. I want that too. Believe me, I want that too. I'm gonna say that. Forget about the quality of the show. I do get the feeling after Obi-Wan,
yeah.
I think they were going to move on from this time period.
I
I
think
think
the High
they're
Republic is where they're focusing on now.
right.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
you're
they're
right.
going. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's far enough back because even Yoda's in that. Yoda's in that time because it's only 300 years before Phantom Menace. So Yoda's only five. He's 500 years old. Whatever, five six
I'm,
hundred years old.
I'm, I'm saying Yoda is going to be a main character though.
No, I don't think they'll focus on him, but he's going to pop up. But again, I think that could work. Like I said, I think that could work. But I mean,
I
look,
mean,
go back thousand. Let's go back to 3,000 years before Phantom Menace, and let's show the first Jedi, the first Force users. Let's see it. I mean, let's see all of it.
I would love that. I don't think they're going to do that though.
No, I don't either. I don't either. But like I said, I would love to see stuff like that.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Look, I want to see. I want to see the story of the guy that sold the Millennium Falcon, or whatever, that got the Millennium Falcon from Han. Anyway, how did he get it from Han and it got to Jakku? I want to see that. I'll watch that movie.
You know what? I want to see a movie about Country Club.
Yeah.
Can we make a movie
Yes.
about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You had to cast Mark Ellis,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh yeah. Get Anderson there. That would be fun as heck. Are you kidding?
That's
And
so
then
crazy how much he looks like that guy. It is wow. It's so amazing.
I remember watching the movie, and I remember watching Jedi Council back in the
Yes.
day, and I
Oh, they
remember
messed with him for a good year about that.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
Country
That's what I
Club.
said. I mean, I want to see the Crimson Dawn. Let's see a Crimson Dawn TV show of Maul and Kira running the Crimson Dawn. Let's see that. And then you can bring what's his name in as Han Solo, and you can bring Woody Harrelson back as Beckett, and you can do cool stuff like that.
Let me ask you, I just remembered. I don't know if this was ever confirmed. I remember them saying something about a Lando show. You remember this?
What's that? What show?
A Lando Calrissian show.
Yeah, apparently Donald Glover signed on to do it. So yeah.
Do you want to see that?
Oh, I would buy. Yeah, oh, absolutely. He was great as Lando. He was great as I liked him as Lando. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I
I,
actually wouldn't mind seeing like him and Billy D in it, and have like Billy D kind of like telling old stories, and then we flash back to him as Donald Glover, playing him and something like that. Like that would be a cool little show to see. Just Lando's adventures or whatever, something like that. Yeah.
kind of like the old, kind of like what is it called? What is it called? The Young Indiana Jones Adventures, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yes. I know exactly. Yes. You're right. Yep. Yep. I
Oh,
remember
man.
that show. Absolutely. Yeah. Something like that. Just, just have fun with it. Like that's what it feels like so much to me is Mandalorian was the first time it felt like they were actually having fun with Star Wars and not trying to make Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? just the
I
feel was different. It just felt like they were
mean,
making something.
you always have to remember the people on Mandalorian are different from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nickelodeon and John Favreau working on that.
But Rogue One felt like that for me too. Rogue One felt like it was just a Star Wars movie, and then Solo felt like it was trying to be a Star Wars movie or a Solo, a Han Solo movie.
Okay, I want to talk about Solo for a second.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I did buy that guy as a young Han Solo. I bought right into it. I could see him becoming that Han Solo. It worked for me. I love
okay,
that movie.
okay.
I don't know about you.
I just feel like, for me, it feels like he wouldn't have, because this is only what, 5 years, 6 years before New Hope. And it feels like he goes from being madly in love with this woman to being just this, I don't even know, a cold hearted person that then meets Leia and becomes soft again. And it feels jerky the way
Oh,
he switches personalities, I guess, for me.
I see what you mean.
But again, maybe that breakup, or him losing her was just that traumatic for him. But I don't. It feels shy. But again, I think if it's not called Han Solo, it's just called X Bounty Hunter. I love the movie. I really do. I love the movie. Other than that, I just, you know,
Would you agree?
because I love Woody Harrelson. I thought he was a great person to add to Star Wars. His character, that the character of Beckett, and even Enfys Nest, I thought was a cool idea for a character. That whole biker gang type thing. I thought that was a good idea. I love that stuff.
Would you agree? Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie Disney has made.
Do I think what now?
Rogue One. Rogue One.
Is the only
Is,
good one they made?
hmm?
You said is that the one I think that's the only good one.
Is that the best one that Disney has made?
I think so. I think it's Rogue One, then Force Awakens, then Solo. I think those are the three. I think that's how it goes.
I,
I
I
really do
agree.
like Force Awakens overall. Like I said, I really do love that movie overall. I don't think it's a bad movie or a bad Star Wars movie.
It's a good Star Wars movie, and I remember really liking it at the time.
Yeah,
But going back and rewatching it, it's disappointing because you see it had a lot of potential about where it could go, and
yeah,
it's nine. I mean,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
again, I think you solve the problems of 8 and 9 if you fix one big problem, in my opinion, and at the end of that movie, which is Luke standing there grabbing the lightsaber. If he's the one standing there grabbing the lightsaber and not Ray, after Ray gets knocked out and then he's fighting Finn, and then or when Ray's reaching for the lightsaber and it goes past uh, Kylo, and then Ray is whole. If that's Luke instead of Ray, I think that's a better movie. I think it ends better.
I agree. Because you know what else not there? If that happens,
Yeah, you can't
we
do
get,
8 and 9. You can't do 8 and 9 the way you did them. You just can't.
but if that happens,
Yeah,
we get one season of three people back. We get one season with Leia and Han back.
yeah. Well, no, because Han's dead at that point. Han just died. Which I still think you change that part too. But again, that's my opinion. I don't mind that he dies. I just don't like the way he died. I still don't like the way that he dies, and that I never have, and I just don't like it. It just seems so. Even though it's his son that does it, and I get the point of it, I just feel like he goes out. The respect that character deserves, he didn't get, in my opinion. Because
Well,
honestly, at
you,
that point,
you're
Kylo is
right.
still not a known character to us as fans. So he hasn't earned that kill, in my opinion. He hasn't earned killing Han Solo, even though it's his father. Do you know what I mean? At that point in Star Wars, lore or whatever you want to say.
I think we'll get there eventually. I want to ask, what do you think of Kylo's character arc in 7, 8, and 9?
Overall, he gets better for me, but I feel like there's so many times where he's just such a whiny little kid that it's kind of annoying. When he throws that temper tantrum in 7, where he starts slicing up the panel, and then he turns around, and he's like anything else, and the guy's just like scared to say it. It's just like that's such a childish move. But again, I get it because he's trying to be Vader. He's trying to be what he thinks Vader would be and do.
Well, I
You know,
mean, yeah, yeah, that, but you
it's
also
hard.
have to
It's hard to
I,
understand where he's at. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was Anakin in episode 2. Anakin had a temper tantrum.
Right. And that's what it's yeah, and that's what I said. It's supposed to that's what it's supposed to mean, which I get completely, and I don't have a problem with it. I feel like he overacts it, or he does something that just makes it feel whiny and not it's not menacing. It's not Vader.
He,
It's not Vader.
I, in this one thing I can fix in episode 9, I know everybody loved the fact that Harrison Ford came back in that.
Yeah.
I would have brought back Hayden. I would have brought back Hayden Christensen and have Anakin be the one to turn Kylo back.
Yeah.
He got
Well, I think
more,
what he said is that that's him seeing his father. That like Han's not force sensitive, so he can't be a force ghost. So that's
uh,
more of like him in his own mind, kind of manifesting his father in front of him, and him getting a chance to say "I love you" finally to him. I I, I don't mind that part. I think it makes sense for the story because again, he is a troubled. I mean, he's troubled. He's mentally troubled. He really is. He feels like his uncle tried to kill him, who is his hero, who really is his hero. I mean, if you watch the movies and pay attention, that's his hero is Luke, not Vader. Luke is his real hero. I mean, that's the way it always felt like to me because it felt like he's like, wait, you're turning on me of all people, you're going to turn
oh,
on me,
you're right, you're
you
right.
know? And that's kind of how I felt because that end when or at the end of 8 where he's the Force Ghost and he's fighting him. I mean, you feel he's like you tried to kill me, like you tried, like he really like that's who he looked up to more than anybody was Luke. So he just wanted to be Vader because he felt like Vader was more power. I'm assuming he thought that Vader was more powerful than Luke in the dark side. Once he went to the
Right.
dark side, he felt like that was who he had to live up to, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to those movies are confusing, so it's hard to really tell what's going on. You just kind of have to make it up for yourself, really, for a lot of it.
I, luckily, we're here talking about Return of the Jedi. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
not get to the floor room scene. Because
Okay.
this floor room scene
Yeah,
is probably one of the greatest scenes in any sci-fi movie.
it's awesome.
Luke,
Yeah,
Emperor, and Vader.
yeah,
Vader and Luke facing off. Emperor watching them. It's a great scene, man. It's a great scene.
yeah.
What are your feelings towards this scene?
Well, I think we talked about this last week. Was just the way that he doesn't in my opinion, Luke never gives into the dark side. He embraces it
Right, right.
and he uses it to his advantage. And he's sort of like I said, like Mace, in the sense that he can sort of use the dark side when he needs to, but he makes the conscious choice to not give into it and not go to the dark side. Like, because there's a point where you can see it in his face. He's thinking about it. When
Oh, yeah.
Palpatine's like, use your anger, use it, and he's like, all right, and no, he's like, no, I'm not doing it, and he throws his saber down and he says, I'm not doing it. You're not going to make me You're not going to make me make the same mistake my father did. I understand my father's mistake, and I'm not going to make it.
And then you say Palpatine is not the new Force Lightning.
Yeah,
Vader grabs him, throws him in the pit.
yeah. What I love that scene of him with like shaking, and
Mm, yeah.
it looks like the bones. You know, you can see the skeleton. I love that. It's just so it's so great.
Happened in there. They blew up the second Death Star.
Yeah,
Luke carries Vader. Vader dies. Take off my helmet. That scene of Luke looking into Vader's eyes.
yeah,
That's a beautiful scene. I love that scene.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Vader dies. Luke gives him a fucking funeral, I guess. That isn't
yeah, 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 yeah.
right.
And
And
as Vader, and dressed as Vader.
then Vader.
Yeah, he doesn't, strip him or anything. I mean, I guess, what if they would have did that scene and him just laying there as his body, and then they went back and did the prequels and he cut off all his limbs, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, he had arms and legs in that scene.
Yeah, I'm grateful I didn't do that. I'm grateful. That would have. Anyway, they go back to the moon
Yeah,
and celebrate the time.
yeah.
You see,
I mean,
different.
come on, who doesn't want to be a part of that party? Tell
Oh,
me you
that,
don't want
oh,
to party with the Ewoks.
hell yeah. There's nothing going on. In the special editions,
Mhm.
they show different planets celebrated, which I love that edition, by the way.
Yeah, no, I do too. Yeah, I like that.
They get in the moon, and in the background, you hear, Mr. Free! They added Georgia to that scene.
Uh, let's just not talk about it. No, no. I mean, yeah. Look, it's that to me is another McClunky. It's just what's the point of it? It doesn't. There's no reason for it. I mean, come on, George. Like, come on, George. See, that's the side of George I want to see in public. I want to see him doing that kind of stuff because for a fact McClunky is him just making a joke. There's no way that is serious. He is not being serious. He is making a joke. And I love that, but just tell us you're doing it.
One of these days, I don't know how, one of these days, I
Yeah.
have to find out what the fuck McClunky means. Because
Hey, again,
McClunky.
what are you gonna do? I mean, it's still it doesn't take away from anything. It's still one of the best movies in Star Wars. It gives you everything that Star Wars is supposed to be. It gives you you don't think the heroes are gonna make it, and then we have the greatest end battle in history, and the good guys win, and you can't be mad about it.
And then after that, we go back to Endo. We go back to the moon of Endo.
Yeah,
Luke is looking up into the sunset. He sees the three ghosts. He sees Obi-Wan Yoda, Anakin.
yeah, and we see
Great.
young Anakin in the new ones, yeah, or in the new
I, I
cut.
like that. I like that they made that difference.
Yeah, I
I
don't mind.
never got that, man.
Yeah, it makes more sense because I think Hayden Christensen's going to be more recognizable just in general in the future over time than the original actor. So I think that makes sense.
And that wraps up that movie. Overall, it's a great movie. Any last thoughts about that movie?
Just like I said, overall, like I said, I love where it ends, and I love the hope you feel because I mean, you really do feel like that's the end. You feel like they beat they beat the Empire. I mean, they beat the big bad. I mean, the unbeatable force that just can't be stopped. They beat them, and it's such a satisfying ending. It really, really is to a movie. It's so great.
Episodes 1 through 6, to me, beautiful story. I love it.
Yeah.
We'll get to 7 through 8 next week.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Hey.
I might need to be on something. Well, we'll get there. We'll get into it. This was fun, Matt. This was really fun.
No, we'll get through them again. And like I said, all the things that we will find and pick out again that we don't like, because I still will never ever understand blue milk or green milk, whatever it is in that one. It's green milk, yeah, green milk. And the way that look that he gives Ray when he's milking that sea thing, creature thing, whatever it is,
You
that's
want
such that's
you want
such bad directing. That is the worst directing ever. I mean, he literally looks at her like as he's milked like squid. It's just like, come on, this is happening in a Star Wars movie. Like, come on.
we'll get there. We'll get there. Not yet. We'll get there.
Yes, no, let's save it. Absolutely. But no, I am excited to get into these again because I think I've seen Force Awakens a bunch, but I think I've already seen eight, maybe two or three times, and
Yeah,
I've seen nine twice. I think just twice.
yeah,
So
me too. I think I'm
yeah,
with
I'm
you.
actually interested to rewatch them again now. So
Well, I think that will do it for this episode.
yeah,
Thank you everyone for joining us live. This is a
absolutely.
lot of fun. We're going to be doing this every week. So, Don, do you have anything you want to plug or anything?
No, I mean just you can get in touch with me on Twitter at Jedi Master Tuck, and you can see me here every Tuesday now live with Ben.
Every Tuesday? Yeah, it's going to be fun. You guys can find me at Ben_Rating every Tuesday on this right here. Every Monday on Deep Dive.
Sorry.
Okay. Every every um every Sunday on Wine, and you can also find me on the Northern Entertainment Group every Tuesday on We Run That Tape with my friend Sona, and every weekend on Northern Countdown with my friend 50 Cents of Keith and with Sona too.
Yeah, I've had
And
a great time with you guys last couple weekends on that. Good
oh
time.
yeah, well, I want you back on anytime, man. Well, so that will do that. That will be it for this episode. Thank you everyone for joining us. Until next time, this is Man, and none may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
See you next Tuesday.